Welcome back to Wargaming World, to the ancient land of Lexium, and to a game of fantasy, Wargaming World Solo. This is a 10-minute video for Little Wars TV on a quick strike battle, and it's answering one simple question. Is it possible to play a solo wargame where you really don't know what your opponent is about to do? Right, well, let's test the theory. So this is the Battle of the Bridge of the Crying Souls, and it's between a dwarf force trying to dislodge this goblin and ogre force and relieve the castle up at the top here, which is being under siege from evil forces. I'll leave them to it over on that side, and then over here, the far side, there is a skirmish taking place with both forces taking wounds. However, we're concentrating on this battle. On the left-hand side, we have a goblin and ogre force, and on the right-hand side we have dwarves. We've got about half a dozen units each side, but significantly here on the left-hand side, it's a solo battle against the virtual you. So, I need to roll a dice to see, first of all, how many units I can activate. It can act only 2 my chariots, and I'm going to declare a charge with the dwarf unit moving towards the goblins. I need to test its morale standard, rolling a 9 or less with 2 dice, and it does. Goblins can countercharge with a morale standard of 8, and they do. Melee, it's a heavy unit with the dwarves, so they get a +1 in terms of the impact it makes. Black dice for the dwarves. But it's a 4 against a 5. Dwarf unit's charged, so it's made a +2 as well on the impact, so the morale of both units is now 2, so we need to test and see what happens to them. Dwarves first. 2. So from a morale point of view, they stand firm. Get 2. No, they are 5 above and will make a full retreat. However, in terms of distance, they will be moving into the unit behind them, who have a tree behind them and can't really move, so this unit is going to be removed from the board. Now for the virtual you, I need to test the morale standard of each of the units with the green dice to see what they do next. And the test of that is to see whether they pass the morale standard. If they fail, then they will move into a different approach. The green dice indicates bold, whereas blue, this unit has failed, will be measured, and the one red is cautious. So neither of those can operate in this turn, but the others, the remainder, certainly can. I need to check what the virtual you will do, what reactions and decisions. And for an attacking bold unit, when we're in the open, it will attack if I draw a number card. However, it might be different if it's a picture or a joker, so let's test. I've drawn a number card for 4 units, so they will advance. However, in terms of this skeleton chariot, I've drawn a joker. What does that mean? Joker, I'll either fire or stand 2. I've got a bowman on board, so it will. And it is. 6 impact onto that unit. Oh, and it's a 6. 6 down to 3. And it fails by some distance. So 3, and it means it's a full retreat with a 7. After losing casualties, we need to test whether there's an impact on one of the captains or characters. A queen, what does that mean? And with a queen, it means that the captain is killed. So the morale of this unit will go down to 7. And that's a very impactful shot there from the chariot. Units advance, but over here it's going to be a little bit of magic. So this illusionist, we need to roll to see which spell he will cast. Which spell? 6. 6. Now, a unit from the dead. We do have a unit rising from the dead, and they will charge towards this unit. It's a solo game, and I need to be creative in terms of the test. Now this unit, if you remember, had to retreat due to casualties, and I think it's still in the same turn, so I'm going to say it's going to test its morale on the same level. Very low number, and that's not it. And so I'm going to say that that unit is removed from the board. Remembering that that is an illusion, it's done its job, so I'm going to remove that from the board too. Well, advantage to the goblins, and I'm struggling to get over to relieve this castle, but let's see how many options I've got in the next turn. 3. I've moved my chariot forward, and I've charged with the dwarves, and I've got a counter charge with the goblin, and I'm going to declare magic from my master handler here of the launch of a manticore. If my spell will work, I need a 10. Oh, it is a 10. And this is where it appears and flies in, and this unit will need to take a terror test. And it fails, 4 above its morale standard, so it will need to make a like a half move retreat. That's where it finishes. Over here, +3 for the dwarves and +2 for the goblins. Black is the dwarves. Right, so the impact is 4 onto 5. Morale standard with both, with 4 goblins. 3 above. Dwarves are at 4, they're fine. It's pushed back, but let's just test and see if there are any casualties amongst the captains. No, there's not. Now I've tested the approaches. The nearest unit has gone back to bold. It won't operate in this phase though. The 3 units in green will operate. I'll move them shortly. The ogres have gone temporarily cautious, as has the illusionist here. You'll see with the monster in front, you'll understand why. This unit moved back, so can't move in this particular phase. However, the master handler with the dragon has a point to prove, and we might well see a dogfight between these 2 monsters. The handler needs less than a 10, and it is. So we see an intercept out here, and we'll work out some melee in a moment. There's 2 things with this. Can the 2 units charge into the dwarves, and also can they fire a fireball when they go into contact, and obviously a countercharge from the other 2 units to charge. Yes, they can. It fails. Countercharge. Yes, they will from the goblins. Yes, they will land a fireball. These 2 have hit each other with a charge. There is a fireball that'll be landed. The dwarves, they have an apprentice, and if the character is wounded there, so we could do a bit of magic with the apprentice, but they don't have the capability of firing a fireball. Finally, will this chariots charge? Yes, it will with an 8. Counter charge. Ah, that fails with an 9. Let's start over with this one here. Goblins are blue dice. 1 is with the fireball, and both units get a +2 because they charged. So what do we get here? Oh, crikey. Right, so 4 from the goblins, but 6 from the dwarves. So the morale standard is down to 2 and 5 respectively. So the goblins, they are 8 above, and that is going to be a rout. We'll test the dwarves, however. 6. They slightly move backwards. Character impacted by the melee? No, it's not. 1d6 each, but +2 for the skeleton crew because they charged the impact. Oh, not very much. 4 and 1 respectively is 8, less 1 is 7. So what's the impact of the action? So it'll need to slightly retreat. 4 is 4. What's its impact? It's fine. Hard for the skeleton crew. There's no impact from the casualties. So over here, what's really happening is that the 2 master handlers are really trying to get the better of each other in terms of their flying creatures. So what happens is before any melee takes place, we have to see whether they can overpower each other in terms of their skills. We've got we roll 1d6 to see that the interceptor, that's the dragon, will have to get a higher score than that of the manticore. Still with the dragon, and it is higher. So it means that the dragon is going to hit this manticore, and because they are both a terror unit, it's going to be a 2d6 hit. The impact. Right, 7. So we know that its morale is 8, so we know that it's going to fail that test, but there's something else to test. We'll roll for the morale reaction, but also we need to take a risk card to see what the monster might do. Down to 1, and that is 4 above it. So the manticore will fly higher as a consequence of the impact. However, let's just see if we take a card, and if we get a joker, what the consequence would be. So the card, and it is a joker. Right, okay. Now something happens here which is of significant consequence. The consequence is that the spell is broken with the manticore, and the first thing it's going to do, it's going to turn and attack towards its own home troops. With that disaster, I need to regroup, so the units will need to have to retreat. I'll save my forces for next time, and the siege will have to continue. Thanks for watching Fantasy Wargaming World Solo for Little Wars TV.